I'd probably start off by guessing this is going to be u. U is usually trapped under something like a square root or a cube. Now, I really don't know if that's going to work or not. And the fact that you're asking this question makes me think maybe it won't. But now if I took the derivative of this, the derivative of u would be 1 du. The derivative over here would be 0 plus, well, if you think of this as t to the negative 1, I'm not integrating, I'm taking the derivative. So I could bring the power down, lower the power by 1, and I took the derivative with respect to t. Make sure that you guys are making a habit out of writing that. So I could also think of it like this. Negative exponent is the same as a positive exponent if we move it to the other side of the fraction bar. Well, now when I try to piece these things together, this looks like it's almost ready to be plugged in. What I called u, I could substitute this for u cubed, this stuff. And then this negative 1 over t squared dt is almost this, but it's not exactly the same thing. This one's positive, this one's negative. So I suggest that you just make one more line. No need to do any more in your head than you want or than you need to. So I really want this to be positive 1 over t squared dt. And so what I would have to do to this side is multiply it by a negative 1. And so to keep it balanced, you better multiply this side by a negative 1. So to replace all this stuff in purple, you have to do that by replacing a negative du. So it's understandable if you're having trouble seeing how some certain things fit together last class because it was the first time that you saw it. But if by the end of class today you don't understand how everything has to be like perfect fit, the dt's accounted for, understanding where this negative came from, that's the stuff that we need to patch up. All right. And then that should be all that's really new here because we should be left with something that we can do in our head. So integrate, raise the power by 1, divide by the new power. Don't forget your plus c because we don't have our limits of integration there. And then finally, nobody said anything about u. That's just a tool to help you solve this. You need to take this and plug it back in. And I would end up with that. And of course, if you had time, you could always take the derivative of your answer to make sure it gave you that, because that's what we're trying to do. Okay, anything more particular in there? No? That's okay. Is anybody else going to ask about 23?
Yeah, I was going to ask about that. I got hung up on
From over here? Yeah, just think of this like exponent rules, and then you can just do power rule. I just brought the power down, lowered the power by 1. And don't forget the dt, because if you don't keep up with this dt, you don't know how why it makes that replacement there.